Should Neil Brown go into the transfer portal to find a replacement for Jarret Doege? And if so, who should that replacement be? Hang tight, we'll talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and I'm coming to you once again from the hills of wild and wonderful West Virginia, and this is Coos' Corner. Thank you for tuning in. Before I get on with the show, I want to ask, if you haven't yet, please hit the red subscribe button. Please give me the thumbs up if you like this video. Both of those things are free. Please check out the Coast to Coast CFB network, where me and four of my other colleagues talk college football almost every day. I'll put the links in the description box to our Facebook and Twitter pages. Now let's get on with the show. All Mountaineer Nation knows by now, Jarret Doege has entered the transfer portal and will finish out his career at another school. That being said, we will start the 2022 season with three quarterbacks, and all of them are extremely young and inexperienced. We will have Garrett Green, who was a backup this year to Jarret, who did get some playing time, but threw very few passes and was a run-first quarterback. Has not had a chance to run an offense, has not had a chance to really go through pass progressions and reads and do all the things that a starting quarterback has to do. Has not had a chance to be the guy, and he's only going to be a sophomore. We will have Will Goose Crowder, who will be a redshirt freshman who's thrown exactly two passes at the college level, and that was in mop-up duty against Long Island University. And we will have highly touted incoming freshman Nico Marchiol, who is a four-star recruit, who is very highly touted, as I said, and who is expected to be a really good quarterback for West Virginia. However, he will be a true freshman. And I do not feel comfortable going into game one of the season against our arch rival Pitt on the road with a true freshman quarterback. Even if he's good, it is extremely rare for a true freshman quarterback to be successful at the Power 5 level. So therefore, I think Coach Brown should go into the transfer portal, find a quarterback who only has 1 to 2 years of eligibility remaining, bring them on as a stopgap to get us from Doege over to whoever the next guy is going to be, whether that be Green, Crowder, or Marchiol. Now, I looked through the transfer portal, found some guys who looked intriguing to me and who might be solid replacements for Doege. And here's the list I compiled for you. The first guy, and I'm going to go in order of my least preferred to my most preferred, okay? So number 3 would be John Rhys Plumlee. He's transferring over from Ole Miss. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining. He's 6'1", 185 pounds, was a 3-star coming out of high school with a .89 rating, according to 247 Sports. Very high rating. Very highly touted kid coming out of high school. Actually started at Ole Miss in 2019 under then offensive coordinator Rich Rodriguez. We all know that name. But we all know Rich Rodriguez likes running quarterbacks, and that's what John Rhys Plumlee is at this point. He only threw 150 passes. In 2019, completed 79 of them, which is good for 53%. 910 yards, 4 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. But he ran the ball 154 times for 1,023 yards, a 6.6 average. So he was basically a running back playing quarterback. Now, when Rodriguez was let go, they brought Jeff Lebby in. Matt Corral ended up winning the job, and they never looked back. Matt Corral ended up being a great quarterback. John Rhys Plumlee got moved actually to wide receiver. Played wide receiver most of the time when he did get to play. So he's decided he wants to go somewhere where he gets another shot to play quarterback. Do I think West Virginia is the right fit? I do not. For the simple reason, we already have a quarterback on our roster who's a run-first guy, and that's Garrett Green. I don't think we need two. We need somebody who's going to be a pass-first guy, but can run if needed. That's what I'd like to see. Second guy on the list, Zack Annexstad. Zack Annexstad is transferring over from Minnesota, of all places. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, dual threat, was a 3-star coming out of high school, had offers from Cincinnati, Illinois, and Pitt, among a bunch of non-Power 5 schools. He was actually recruited by former West Virginia analyst and current Minnesota offensive coordinator, Kirk Ciarrocca, who was also offensive coordinator there in 2018 when Annexstad was coming out of high school. Now, Annexstad actually won the starting job at Minnesota as a walk-on his freshman year. Played the first 7 games until he got injured. His stats for that year were 97 for 187 passing, which is good for 52% percentage, 1,277 yards, 9 touchdowns, but 7 interceptions. So stats weren't amazing, but he was a true freshman. Ended up getting injured, had to sit out the season. And he actually lost it to Tanner Morgan, who's Minnesota's current starting quarterback. Well, going into the 2019 season, most people expected Annexstad to win the job. He got injured in preseason camp. It was a season-ending injury. Tanner Morgan got the start, and they've not looked back. Tanner Morgan played well and has kept the job. And when Tanner Morgan announced he was coming back for his last year of eligibility, Zack Annexstad decided to hit the portal. Now, with Ciarrocca's connection to West Virginia and his supposed good relationship with Neil Brown, will he and Brown discuss Annexstad, and will he help get Annexstad to West Virginia? That's yet to be seen. I don't if that's even allowed. I'm not even sure if that's a violation or not. But I'll just like to. I'm curious if that connection, and we know that Neil Brown and Kirk Ciarrocca share a lot of offensive philosophies as far as the way they like to run their offenses. So if that's the case, and Ciarrocca recruited Annexstad, then maybe Annexstad would also be a fit for West Virginia's offense. So that's what makes him so intriguing, and the fact that he's a dual threat. Now, I'm not sure. I think he only has 1 year of eligibility, maybe 2. If there's a Minnesota fan watching this and can answer that question for me, I would appreciate it. But he's a veteran player, got experience at the Power 5 level. And then you've got this is the one that I would most prefer, and this is a name that most people haven't been talking about, but I think is a good quarterback. And his name is Baylor Romney. He was the backup at BYU for 3 seasons. He's 6'2", 185 pounds, out of El Paso, Texas. Was a 3-star kid coming out of high school. A .80 rating based on according to 247 Sports. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining. He has played all 3 seasons, even though he's not been the starter. He has seen playing time all 3 seasons because of injuries to the starter. But his 2021 stats: 56 of 80 passing, which is a 70% completion percentage, which is really good. 779 yards, 6 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. His career stats: 134 of 200 passing, 67% completion, again, pretty good. 1,787 yards, 14 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. So really good numbers for Baylor Romney. Baylor Romney is also a dual threat quarterback. He can run the football. So that's another thing that makes him intriguing. And what, to me, that makes this kid, or makes this young man even more a fit at West Virginia is this. He's 24 or 25 years old. I'm not sure his exact birth date, but he was actually recruited as part of the 2015 recruiting class. That's how old he is. And he actually officially committed to Nevada, the University of Nevada. But he ended up going on an LDS missions trip. And when he come back from that missions trip, he decided to enroll at BYU. So he transferred to BYU and has played there ever since. And that, like I said, that was in 2018 for the 2019 season. So he, like I said, he's got, because 2020 not counting, he's got 2 years of eligibility left. And even if Baylor Romney wasn't able to come in and win the job over Nico or Goose or Garrett, he would be a 24 to 25-year-old man in that room that could really be a good leader for those guys and really help them learn the game and help them learn about life in general. I mean, the guy's got a lot of life experiences. You know, he went on mission trips. He's played a lot of football as well. Got a lot of lessons from that and a lot of lessons about life, I'm sure. A lot more so than an 18 or 19-year-old would. So I think he could be a great leader for them, whether he plays or not. I'm sure, obviously, he's going to want to play if he comes, and I think he could. I think he would have a legit chance to win the job. But anyway, Baylor Romney to me is the best option for West Virginia right now because you want to bring somebody in. If you bring in somebody that's got 3 or 4 years of eligibility, then Nico's probably going to leave because I think Nico wants to play right away, or at least have a chance to play right away. And if he sees you bring in a guy like Caleb Williams, for example, I think West Virginia has little to no chance of getting Caleb Williams. But let's just say we do. If Caleb Williams comes in, Nico's probably going to leave. Because you know if Caleb Williams is there, he's going to play all 3 years more than likely. And Nico's never going to see the field. So he's probably going to jet to somewhere else. But if you bring in somebody that's got 1 or 2 years of eligibility he can learn under, I think that'd be a great situation. That could have been Jarret Doege, but Doege left. So now West Virginia's got to make a decision. Do they hit the portal? Do they trust these young guys enough to throw them to the fire next year? It'll be interesting to see what happens. So let me know in the comment section what you think about these 3 quarterbacks on the portal. Do you think West Virginia should get one of them? Is there somebody else in the portal you'd like to see West Virginia get that I haven't mentioned? And do you think West Virginia should even go into the portal for a quarterback, or do you think they should just roll with the 3 guys they have? Let me know. I'd like to hear it. So once again, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate you tuning in. Q Country Roads.